everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coming Up Milhouse. We have Vinny here joining us today. Maybe against his will, who knows? But he did just watch Season 7, Episode 16, Lisa the Iconoclast with us.
And now he is falling off the table.
Sounds about right. Now
Yeah.
he's going to eat the comic book guy and probably jump away. So we just watched that episode, and do you want to tell the audience a little bit about that?
Yes, so, Lisa is a fan of history, and it just so happens that the big celebration of Jebediah Springfield, founding Springfield, is about to come. So she goes to the Historical Society to learn more about Jebediah and finds out some things that she's not particularly happy about. A little bit of the history is off from the official narrative, and she goes on a one young lady quest to make everyone know the truth, and it doesn't go too good for her.
She even gets an F on her report, so it's...
Biggins? I never heard that word before I moved to Springfield.
I don't know why. It's a perfectly cromulent word.
No, that had to hurt.
The bicentennial celebration had its lead-ins of ups and downs with Lisa involved in them.
And we get Donald Sutherland as the voice of Mr. Hurlbut, who is in charge of the Historical Society. And that's always a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right, well, let's do our thing. Kick it off. Give me your line number one.
So this is from the Troy McClure video because, it's me and I love Troy McClure. It's some sort of land cow. Because
buffalo?
there are other types of cows. Are there
flying cows? Swimming cows? I don't know. I thought they were all land cows.
I guess maybe manatees are called sea cows at some point, but...
Yeah, but I doubt anyone from 200 years ago
Right.
would have ever seen one.
In the prairie, especially. Cutting cross country to New Sodom. What about you?
All right, so mine is from Mr. Hurlbut, and it's after Lisa tries to convince him that Jebediah Springfield is a fraud, and he doesn't like that. And he says, "You're banned from this historical society. You and your children and your children's children." For 3 months.
I wrote that one down. That's a good one.
I love it.
So many great lines.
Yep.
For sure.
What do you got for two?
Well, so part of this whole journey Lisa's on is to find out that Jebediah is not who he says he is or who the town thinks he is, and there is rumor of a silver tongue because he had his tongue cut out in his previous life as a pirate. And so she learns this, and then Homer says, "No tongue, eh? How did he even talk, or eat, or laugh, or love?" It just cracked me up.
He's Homer silly.
What about your?
All right, so mine is from Jebediah Springfield himself as part of his confession that Lisa digs up. And so there's this myth that he tamed the wild buffalo, and that's a big deal. He tamed the wild buffalo. We saw it in that.
The land cow.
Yep, we saw it in that strip. Well, in Jebediah's confession, he writes, "Firstly, I didn't tame the wild buffalo. It was already tame. I merely shot it."
Oh, good old Jebediah.
There's too many lines in this. We only do 2 each, but you could be here for half an hour just saying them all.
I actually have a whole page of them and had to stop myself because
this video would be a mile long if we said everything that we liked. Yeah. What about scenes? Give me your favorite scene.
Well, my favorite scene is Jebediah is actually known as Hans Sprungfeld up to a certain point. That was his pirate name, and then he becomes Jebediah Springfield. And in his history, he actually has a fight with George Washington. So there's a scene that represents that fight. And it's one of my favorite parts of this episode because, they're fighting, they're full on fisticuffs. And then Washington reaches onto the desk for his wooden teeth. And he bites Hans in the jewels, we'll say. And then Hans runs out of the room from that. So.
That was a great.
Go Washington.
And then Betsy Ross comes in with the flag, and it doesn't have Lucky Charms.
It doesn't, right?
Marshmallows on it, so he's not going to pay for it.
Yeah. No stars.
The stars are four-leaf clovers or whatever.
And four-leaf clovers and rainbows or whatever else he wanted. The stars and stripes for sure, but not everything else. Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's just a crazy scene.
It's great.
What about you?
All right, so mine is when Lisa and Homer are trying to convince people that Jebediah Springfield's a fraud. They go to Moe's, and all the drunks are there, and and he's like, "My daughter has something to tell you." Oh, the little cutie's got something to say. What do you got to say? And then she's like, "Jebediah Springfield was a fraud, and he killed people," and everyone in the bar's like, "What?" And then Mo gets mad, and he's like, I'm going to call the Springfield Jubilation Committee. They want to hear about this after he kicks him out.
He kicks Homer and Lisa out. He basically banned them. So Lisa's been banned from 2 places.
And he's like, Barney, show them the door. And Barney's like, there's a door, or show them the exit. There's an exit? Something like that. So that whole scene with Mo is great. I love it. Yep. Takes us into winners and losers. How do you want to do that this week?
Losers. Well, let's go with your winners.
My winner is Marge, because her ancestors had the decision to settle in one of 2 places. It could have either been Springfield or Stenchburg. And they decided to go with Springfield. So I think Marge comes out ahead on this one because she didn't end up being raised in Stenchburg. What do you got?
Well, I actually, you mentioned the Jubilation Committee, so I'll skip that, but they were on my list because I'll throw that in there. I'll use the Jubilation Committee as my winners because here's Springfield and they have a committee for jubilation, town jubilation, and that committee, they got to do some fancy things this episode for sure. It's the only time we've ever heard of them and probably never will again in any of the other episodes, even the ones that are airing. But they get to go and dig up a skeleton and making some decisions and having a great time of it. So,
right.
Jubilation
Springfield
Committee.
Jubilation Committee. All right.
What about your loser?
My loser is Flanders.
I knew you were going with Ned.
So Ned's supposed to be the town crier. He had the bell, he had the tricorn hat, but Homer comes in and just blows everyone away and takes the job. And then even after Homer loses the job when Lisa cheeses off the whole town, Homer pushes Ned out of the way in the parade, takes the hat and the bell, and criers all over the place, and Ned is out twice.
And Wiggum, isn't going to stop it because he's doing such a darn good job.
He's too good. Let him go. So Flanders, yeah. All right. What do you got?
Well, I'm going to go with Willie because we haven't mentioned him this episode. We've mentioned everybody else on my list, but I'm going with Willie because Jubilation Committee and Homer and Lisa and Donald Sutherland end up going to the graveyard, and Willie is digging up the grave by himself while like 20 people are watching, and
that's a short end of the straw.
Yeah, back-breaking labor, and here's Willie taking care of it. So I'm going with Willie.
I like it. Good job. Willie it is. Willie and Flanders.
Yep. Crazy episode. So again, that was season 7, episode 16, Lisa the Iconoclast. And I'm going to just mention also that the couch gag is a Brady Bunch reference, and the couch is in the center square, and everybody went and joined, so it made me laugh. They're pretty clever, those couch gags.
Yep, I'm very fond of them. I haven't seen one I haven't liked, I don't think.
I don't think so. So share your favorite couch gag, your favorite scene, favorite lines, whatever you'd like to share in the comments of this episode, and give us a thumbs up if you liked watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell for alerts for when we post our next episode. And until next time,
Jiminy Jillikers!